Hi, and welcome to the Long Range Shooting and Custom Rifle Building podcast presented by Wolf Precision Incorporated, where we learn about and share long range shooting and custom rifle building. I am your host, Jamie Dotson, and welcome to the show. Hi, and welcome to episode 220 of Wolf Precision's Long Range Shooting and Custom Rifle Building podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Dotson, and welcome back to the show. In this episode, we're going to dive into reloading and the online reloading class, as well as some information that you're seeing online when it comes to making great ammunition. So it ought to be a great podcast because these are just questions that we get asked every week. We get phone calls on this, and we're going to try to not just address them on Patreon as far as an online school, but part of the online training is going to be live streamed starting in February, where you can sign up and actually attend the class live, and then that will be posted as part of the continuation of the course. So it ought to be a great podcast, really trying to get the information out on how this class is going to be different than our online long-range shooting school and how you can attend. So without further ado, here we go. So before we get started, I would like to say a quick thank you to TriggerTech. TriggerTech is the maker of fine rifle triggers. They are one of the safest, easiest to install, easiest to adjust triggers on the market, making everything from the entry-level triggers right up to the diamond. We really recommend them for all of our custom rifle builds or purchases of any of the parts and pieces to any of our customers that call and ask about triggers. So if you want to learn more and you want to upgrade your game with a rifle trigger, stop over to triggertech.com. That's triggertech.com. Today, we'd also like to thank Krieger Barrels. Krieger is the maker of fine cut rifle barrels, family owned and operated from the great state of Wisconsin. They offer a new program called Krieger Direct, where they periodically try to keep posting stuff up for sale for retail customers. So you can potentially log on and try to catch some barrels that are actually in inventory and have it in as little as 2 to 3 business days. So if you want to learn more about Krieger Barrels, we'd like to see if you can't catch one of your barrels without waiting 10 months for a custom barrel to be made for you. You can stop over to KriegerBarrels.com. That's KriegerBarrels.com today. So in a continuation of the Wolf Pack, and what we're trying to accomplish here is about 3 or 4 different things. One of the things that we are sort of the best at is teaching and trying to share all the things that we've learned over decades and decades of both shooting and making the ammunition that we shoot, fundamentals of marksmanship, the environment that we shoot in, positions that we shoot in, all of this great stuff. But one of the things that really just is one of those, I don't want to say necessary evils because it's not, but it's reloading. We spend an exorbitant amount of time here trying to go over customer submitted questions or customer calls that we receive asking about reloading. Most of the time, it isn't something that they have read or that they're going by the book on. It is something that they read online. It is a forum post. It is a YouTube channel. It is a lot of people taking what is a great recipe for a great soup and they're adding their own ingredients or putting their own twist on it. And then it's coming up and creating problems for the newer people coming along thinking, well, this has got to be the right way, or I can do it better, or this is a trick to the trade, or something that we can do to increase the quality of the soup, for say, and end up wrecking it. You know, the old saying is, too many cooks in the kitchen, and this falls true to reloading as well. So it's not so much always the basics of reloading. It's dealing when people try to find a way to make better ammunition, or they're always looking for that secret that nobody else knows that they can pick up on to get them a pass to just better, accurate shooting. Now, let's just go back to why we reload. For most part, I would say most people reload because of the cost savings and the fact that you get to shoot a lot more and you're in a little bit more control of your ammunition situation. So you can reload a couple hundred rounds. You don't feel go to go into the range. In our cases here, we reload by the thousands. So we have lots of ammunition stored up. When we go to the range, we're not being an ammo miser, and we don't feel guilty going out and shooting a couple boxes, because when you do that with purchased ammunition, I think the math is always in your head. You went out to the range, you shot 4 or 5 boxes of ammo, and when you look at those empty cases and you think, well, that cost me $50 a box, that was $250. That gets a little bit on the ouchy side, right? when you make your ammunition, you purchase your components, but then you really don't think about the cost all that much. And honestly, I would say the average is probably $5 to $7 a box once you start reusing and recycling the brass. So it really doesn't become such a sticking point. You don't feel as guilty going out and shooting as much. You will practice more, and you won't cut your shooting short because you don't want to shoot any more ammunition. So you think of some of the rifles that people buy out there that have $120 and $150 a box for ammunition. That box is probably going to last them for 3 years because they're only going to shoot 3 shots at the beginning of season, and they're not going to use it anymore. They're trying to stretch those dollars out as much as they can. So that's usually the reason most get into it. Now, other people get into it, and this is the different personalities, because it's OCD, ADD time, right? People love getting into the bushes and learning all there is to do about it. And it's just like, for me, barbecue would be a great thing. Like, I love barbecuing. I would go take a competition. I would take a class. I just love it. It's, getting into the bushes and learning all the secrets, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy that, right? And some people get into reloading because they enjoy it. It's just like making good barbecue. They want to go through and they want to know all the secrets, all the processes. They have as much fun going to the reloading room as they do to the range. And so I would consider that personality number 2. So you're going to go out, and rather than worrying about saving money or anything else, you actually enjoy the reloading process. The other personality, or personality number 3, is the competitor. And in this scenario, or this personality, is they're not into it because they want to make something safe. They're not into it because they want to follow the book, or just that they enjoy the art of making ammunition. They're doing it because they want to win. And when you get that personality into making ammunition, they are looking to copy the award-winning barbecue sauce that won the last competition, and they just want to copy it. They want to win. That's the reloader. And that, in my mind, can be the most dangerous or self-destructive type of reloading, because you're not taking the time to learn the secret to the trade. You're just trying to fast track to get that win. And you think that making your own ammunition is going to give you a cutting edge over the other shooters, hence like bench rest shooters. Bench rest shooters are sort of a strange crowd in their own. If you've been to a bench rest match, some guys cover their stuff up. They won't let you look at their equipment. Don't ask them to share their reloading information because they think it's some type of secret barbecue sauce that's going to win them a competition. And they'll get mad, what are you looking at my stuff for? They don't want you copying them because they think they have the winning recipe, right? And they're doing everything that they can do to beat you or for that win. And in that case, a lot of times it is the reloading part of it, is that's what they'll focus on. They'll buy the best rifle they can. They'll buy the most expensive equipment on the planet. Some of the front rest that they use in bench rest shooting can cost upwards of more than $2,000 for the front rest. And I have beaten them in matches with bipods. There's fundamentals of marksmanship, and then there's the equipment crazy people. Now, I'm not saying that I go out and win bench rest matches all the time, but I've thrown in my hat in some local matches where a lot of the bench rest guys show up to compete, and I've actually won one of the matches where I got sneers or Snickers when I was walking in with my bipod on my rifle. By the way, I got banned from shooting that rifle in that match because somebody complained that I had a tactical advantage because mine was magazine fed. And the reason I won the match was because I had a magazine fed rifle. So that said, though, that's the third reloader, and that's the one you have to be careful with, because they're searching the internet for the winning recipe. And when you do that, you wind up with opinions of people who are crazy, and leaving you vulnerable or exposed to potentially having issues with or dangerous ammunition. So one of the things that we are trying to do with the Wolfpack, and it's a business thing, right? It's not about the money per se. It's great that we're able to have another stream of income for the business. That helps out a lot. We're constantly investing, so I'm not going to say that it doesn't help. It really does. But for me, it's a time thing. And if I can charge a little bit for it and we can put something back into the business, that is awesome. But I really want to get the information out there without having to individually tell every single person that calls. Because a lot of the times the things that they're asking is the same question that's been asked 100 times before by other customers. And so I sort of make a mental list of all of these questions, and I'm going to try to get them ready for the online reloading class. But for me, it's a time thing. I want to help everybody. And to fault, I answer the phone a lot. And to fault, I'll actually take a call. Like Lori will holler over and say that, hey, there's somebody that had a question on reloading. The president of the company, I should not be taking that call. The Jamie, the shooter, and I just love shooting and sharing great information and helping people, I take the call. So the online reloading class is really about us trying to share all of this information up front and trying to give everybody everything that we've learned and all the questions that we get over the years, and hopefully help, get people over that hump that they're getting into a problem with, or give somebody an alternative view or point of view, or what's the correct way to proceed with it, and what's some safety things to keep in mind. All of those things are really important. And the dangerous part to us is it's going to leave us vulnerable. So just going to put it out there in a podcast that putting any type of reloading material out there is going to leave us vulnerable to somebody doing something stupid, and then, of course, wanting to blame everybody else on the planet, So we're being careful when we market the reloading class that it is an introduction to reloading. It's not meant to be a step-by-step instruction. It's always going to go back, and as it should, and I still do in all my reloading classes that I actually teach in person, as well as, when somebody calls, or like if you guys listen to a previous podcast where the custom hand-making ammunition guy was loading super hot rounds with a powder that wasn't supposed to be used, I tell him to go buy the book and not purchase the book, but follow it. And I always go back to that. You're responsible to follow that book and that procedure, regardless of who you're following, whether it's Hornady, Redding, Hodgkins. They all have reloading manuals out there. All your die makers, you should follow that procedure step by step. Do not follow our procedures. This is not a procedure-based class. These are tips and tricks to help you, guide you through the instructions in the books, and give you pointers of things to pay attention to. And how do you find the length, the overall length of your board? How do you set up your dies properly? I mean, these are all really important things, and we're going to address them all in the class, but it is for entertainment purposes, and it's meant to get your head wrapped around of going and purchasing that book and following it line by line, and maybe understanding it a little bit better with the things that we're going to cover in the class. So it comes at risk. Like, I have really gotten wishy-washy on having this online reloading class because of the risk, and because it could leave us vulnerable to somebody wanting to blame us for something that we say or did, and they didn't go back and follow their own procedures. So we're being really careful that we don't put a lot of our own personal, and I don't really have any, like secret sauce stuff that you'll hear people post up on the internet. I have found that keeping ammunition reloading simple and by the book makes great ammunition every single time. There are some tricks, and there are some things that will help you get the most of your time at the bench, as well as some things that will help save you money on the equipment that you're going to buy, because honestly, sometimes stuff gets really hyped up and you can really spend a lot of money now in reloading and relentlessly open a checkbook up and spend $10,000 or $12,000, which I never thought would be possible, but really not do yourself any favors. You're not buying yourself any extra points. And honestly, I think the guy that's making things on a single stage press will still give you a run for your money in any match at any day of the week. So a lot of it is trying to point out the good equipment to get started with, why we choose the equipment we do, and being mindful on what money people spend. It's not going to be a reloading class. We're going to tell you to go out and buy the most expensive stuff. I'm not an influencer for sale. So in other words, I'm not going to get on there like you'll see if you do any searches on YouTube. Everything's about selling you something. I'm not here to sell you a press. I'm not here to sell you dies. I'm here just to help you, get you over the hump, and hopefully not only help you make great, safe ammunition, but enjoy the process and be weary of when you're getting close to sticking your head down that hole or through the bushes to the other side where crazy exists and going to get you in trouble. So to sign up for the online reloading class, we actually officially posted our first video today on Patreon. There's 4 or 5 more ready to go. You can stop over to Patreon. You can sign up for the Wolf Pack. And with the Wolf Pack, after you've taken the class, comes the opportunity for you to bring your reloading dies here. So one of the most unique opportunities that we're going to launch starting April 1st by schedule only is you can actually bring your press, your dies, your rifle, all of your equipment here to our facility, and we'll actually help you set up your press, your dies, set up your sizing dies to your case, and help you get started That way, when you get home, because this is the problem most guys get into, is they get them through the class and they go home and they start setting everything up and they're just completely lost. Like, how do I set up my dies to actually size the brass properly? But it is going to be contingent on year subscriptions to the Wolfpack, so you have to sign up for the year. It is going to be limited to Wolf Precision rifles. I don't want strange rifles I don't know in here with different issues when it comes to making ammunition for them. So the in-person classes here, unfortunately, will be limited to, or what we call the reloading center, will be limited to Wolf Precision custom rifles. But if you sign up for the Wolfpack for the year, you can actually bring your reloading kit in here. We have ways to set it all up on the benches, and we'll get your dies set up. We'll get you all set up, do some reloading. You have the option to stay behind. The next day we'll go to the range and shoot a little bit, maybe even come back and make some more. So really not just teach you the class, but then help you get your personal stuff set up. That way when you get home and you mount your bench, your dies are all ready to go. So it's going to be just beyond the online class. It's going to be an opportunity to come in and spend some time with one of the reloading experts here, sort of getting your kit sorted out and getting you set up to actually make ammunition for your rifle. The class itself, we're going to have about 4 or 5 videos. 4 of them are already produced. They will be going up here over the next couple of weeks. We are getting ready for the Great American Outdoor Show. So if you'd like to come and see us in person, this is the first show we've done since COVID. We're super excited. Both me and my wife, Lori, she is our office manager. We will both be there. You can stop by and say hi. We'll be in the shooting hall. So we'd love to see you. Stop over, say hi, talk a little bit. We'll have Gen 4 Ace there, some of the tools, including our new barrel vise and chamber wrenches and how we install the Gen 4 Ace when they start rolling out later this year. And then we'll be talking about the online classes. That is February 1st through February 10th, and that is at the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'd love to see you. I will be there all 9 days of the show. And so if you stop by, looking forward to saying hi and meeting you and talking with you about all the different things here at Wolf Precision, or just kicking the tires and talking about shooting in general. But when I get back from the Great American, starting at the end of February, the hands-on portions of the classes are actually going to be live streamed. They are going to require Patreon membership, but we're going to pick out a couple of Saturdays, and we are actually going to walk you through as if this was our in-person reloading class, and then we are going to save that video and we're going to post it up for those that can't attend the live stream for later on use or to attend or learn about all of the subjects. So it's going to be one step beyond just me filming and walking around and showing different things. Is we're actually going to do all of the reloading portion of the class in a couple different sections, probably an hour each or an hour and a half each session. And we're going to live stream it, and then we're going to set maybe 10 or 15 minutes off to the side to maybe answer some questions from those that are attending the live stream. So you can sign up for Patreon at Wolf Precision, or go to Patreon, look for Wolf Precision Inc., and sign up for the Wolfpack there. Those dates will be announced coming after the Great American Outdoor Show for the live stream. Until then, you'll see a couple videos popping up about safety, and I think we have episode 1 through 5 already filmed. They'll be posting up once a week from here on out, and then we'll be starting the live stream portion, which will generally probably take about 4 or 5 sessions and probably about 6 or 7 hours of actual training. So going forward with the Gen 4 Ace, I want to talk a little bit about the Gen 4 Ace. We are super excited. It's slowly coming together. We'll start a major manufacturing here. And what really is nice with the Gen 4 Ace is it's the first time that the customers can actually purchase the individual components and with simple tools be able to build and maintain their own rifle at home, including putting on or taking off the chamber itself. So we're super excited about this. The Ace is, of course, called the Accurizing Chamber Extension. It is the rifle chamber made completely separate of the barrel. The Gen 4 Ace was designed to allow the customers to do this with simple tools. Now, the Gen 3 Ace is exactly the same as 4, except for it is cut differently on the outside to allow for the new tool. Those that have a Gen 1, 2, or 3 Ace out there, you can send your rifle in when it's ready for a rebarrel, and we will upgrade you to our Gen 4 Ace at no charge when it comes time to do the rebarrel. And that's something that we've always done, and I believe the right thing to do for those that are shooting our rifles and using our system. And what I find absolutely amazing is that we have finally made a $185 Ace. So you think about how much people charge to chamber a barrel. You're going to pay that one-time $185, and it's reusable, and you can install it or uninstall it yourself. So we think it just finishes how you actually should chamber a rifle or chamber a rifle barrel. And we think it simplifies the system to keep it in your house as what we would consider like a prosumer gunsmith. And that's the other part of the Wolfpack I just want to touch base on a little bit just to clarify. When we start moving forward, we're really going to hyper focus on what we're the best at. That is teaching, and that is making ACE systems for rifles and trying to teach the customers how to build and maintain them themselves. And that is in person or online. And so we're going to do the same thing with the prosumer gunsmithing class. Is you can take the online course in which we're going to start going through piece by piece the whole process of everything that we do. And we might even do it with different stocks. And that way you can, if you're using an MDT ACC, for example, we could actually go through and show you how we put that stock in, things to look for, and do it as every stock comes out, the things that we look for when we're building it. But really the heart of what we do is the barrel to action. And turning that part and piece over to the customer with just actually being able to purchase the components. And in doing so, we're going to be way more efficient. We're going to be able to service more customers. We're going to be able to launch more calibers. We're going to be able to just do so many more things because we're in our wheelhouse. This is what we're the best in the world at. We are the best in the world at finishing the final assembly of that mating of that barrel to that receiver so it's the most accurate it could possibly ever be. It creates the ACE system that is the most accurate rifles in the world because it's the only system that allows for consistently straight throats and perfectly straight chambers. And when you put those two together, it's like making the world's perfect arrow. You take all those individual pieces, you can do a better job than just taking a stick and sharpening the point and cutting a notch in the back with your pocket knife. If you make a modern arrow and you think of all the components that go into making that arrow, every single one of those components make a difference. And we believe getting the barrel away from the chamber and allowing that makes the perfect arrow in the fact that your barrel, your chamber, and your action are three pieces that when they're put together, they flash straight and true. It's the most accurate they're ever going to be, and it is the most accurate way to make a rifle. And so the prosumer courses are going to be based around a lot of that. But then we're also going to live stream some of those classes as well. And the reason I think we want to do the live stream, it's super, I don't want to say easy to do, but it's not as difficult as it was a couple of years ago. I think the technical difficulties have really been ironed out. But for me, it allows us to take a chance and go through some of the questions you might ask. And so while the live streaming is going on, we'll have somebody fielding some of the questions. We'll pick out a handful and we'll try to answer them there online. And so it gives us a chance to not just share with you all the stuff real time and actually have somebody standing in front of you talking and showing you all this stuff, but it also gives us a chance to interact a little bit and go over some of the questions, which we feel is the final portion of what would make this so special is actually doing some live streams on Saturdays. Now, before we get too much further along, I do want to thank our last sponsor, MDT. MDT is the maker of fine rifle chassis. They are, they have such a big selection of chassis. Just an amazing thing, right? Everything from the Oryx, which we think is the best unsung hero on the market at $435 to the ACC Elite, the new J. Allen. There's just so many great chassis they've come up with. And it's really a great way to upgrade your rifle, especially for factories. So if you want to shoot well beyond 700 yards consistently, the rifle has to fit you well. And if you're going to do it really well, the rifle has to fit you perfectly. And sometimes that means finding a stock that actually fits you, the shooter. So you can learn and study and look over all the fine offerings at mdttac.com. But if you want to upgrade your game and you want to do it with a rifle stock, which in Factory World is a great place to go, stop over to mdttac.com. That's mdttac.com and look at their fine selection today. So we were talking about the prosumer class and the live stream, but then we also are going to open the armory up for those that would like to come in and actually use our facility. So think of like an auto repair shop where you can rent the bay for an hour and come in and do your work to your car. It's going to be something like that here. It's going to be for registrations. Of course, you have to register in advance, but there'll also be somebody here to help you and answer any questions and really go over everything with the rifle as you're putting it together. So we love to have people pop in the shop and we love to have people here talking and building. And it's just a great way to take advantage of the size of the building that we have and open our doors to our customers and give them the opportunity to take the trip in here and put their rifle together under our guidance. So the Wolfpack is going to be so much more. I think it's going to be really special this year on all the additional things that we're going to be offering, as well as all the different services and opportunities to come in and the live streaming. It is $49 a month, and you can sign in and sign out as you like. However, though, if you do plan on signing up and taking advantage of our range, it does require a year subscription. Same thing with the reloading course. It does require a year subscription to come in and take advantage of our in-person reloading. We do offer it at a very reasonable and fair price, but part of that is because we are going to have somebody take the class online first before they get here. I really appreciated everybody for last year. Really enjoyed spending the time with all the shooting schools. We only have 5 slots left for in-person long-range shooting school for all of 2025. So if you're interested in attending one of the classes, we do limit the class to 5. There's 5 slots left for the entire year. We are not going to be announcing any other classes. Our schedules are full. Our online reloading class is actually live. The first video has been posted. It is free to watch. And then the next several videos will be requiring the membership of the Wolfpack. And of course, don't forget about our online long-range shooting school where you can attend our 3-day class from the convenience and comfort of your own home. And then later in the year, we'll be doing some live stream stuff with it and sort of get into answering the questions that we've received since posting it. So it's, I think, almost 18 hours of content. It's everything that we teach here in person, but for the person that can't come in and attend, it's a great resource to take everything that we teach here and get you prepped up to go out and have a great time at the range. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us. I really appreciate it. Don't forget the Great American Outdoor Show. If you'd like to stop by and visit us, we'd love to see you there. My name is Jamie Dotson. I'm your host, and you're listening to Wolf Precision's Long Range Shooting and Custom Rifle Building Podcast.